episodes, we've cut a path through... We've run through a condensed glimpse of the last 80. It's time to hit the home stretch. Prepare yourselves for, in the immortal words of the Swedish hairband Europe, the final countdown. We blast things off in outer space with a series of games that had a meteor-sized impact back here on Earth. With the release of Metroid in 1986, Nintendo introduced an engaging space adventure that sucked them in by the thousands, but where Metroid gained its legion of devotees was at the finish line as main character Samus took off his helmet to reveal that he was a she. And from that moment on, the intergalactic bounty huntress helped rocket the franchise to stratospheric heights on her way to becoming one of the most popular women in video game history. Alas, the difference between being one of the most popular female characters ever and the most popular female character ever is about 5 years and a billion dots. At number 19 is the pellet-munching, pink-bowed heroine by the name of Pac. If you have a pulse, chances are you've played Ms. Pac-Man at least once. The masses, however, have played it more than just about any arcade game ever.
You know, I like the old school video games, like Ms. Pac-Man.
It looked good enough to put the arcades on an endangered species list. Soul Calibur carried the brawn of a fighter like Samurai Showdown, but wound up so much higher on the countdown because it had such an amazing presentation, which was peppered with the kind of cool characters that Namco became known for in its signature Tekken series. Of course, if you're talking about high caliber profiles, then we'd be more than a little remiss not to mention Tomb Raider's Lara Croft, or Halo's Master Chief. So why don't we? Here they are at 17 and 16, respectively. Lord.
The Tomb Raider series. Now, first of all, this proves that video game characters can be hot.
Like, I've played Tomb Raider for almost a year straight, and I played it every night, like, eyes bloody in my room.
First-person shooters really started with Doom, but I think third-person...
I've just got an Xbox, so I've been kind of glued to Halo right now for a while.
The way everything was done in the game is that it was very story-driven, so you never felt like you were just in an environment gunning.
You have to have high-tech weapons to make combat cool. From mastermind Sid Meier came Civilization 2, or Civ 2, to those in the know, the first game to make geopolitics fun! It could be played as a pure military strategy game, or cooler heads prevailed, and approximately 3 weeks later, the same folks got together and intelligently debated the pros and cons of some of the best games to ever see the light of day, and that's why I'm here today, so that I can pass on good word. So let's get back to it, yo. With a white-hot helping of high-wire tricks and high-speed kicks. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater Series and Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec push the envelope on extremity at spots 14 and 13.
My favorite game of all time would be Tony Hawk Pro Skater because it's skateboarding and that's what I do, and I was like, finally you can do it on a video game and not get hurt.
You can like attach yourself to cars, and you can do all this amazing stuff. You can luge, and it's a big.
Gran Turismo, that game sucked the life out of me. You know, it had that whole you gotta catch them all collection factor to it, where you just kept on playing just to get the next car.
They brought in the concept that each car is actually not the same car. Where most ones are like, you're in a Pinto and you're in a Porsche. And they go, whee, and everything was the same. And now they're going, no. You pick the Pinto or the Porsche, you're going to have a lot more difficulty winning that race in the Pinto.
If you're a car nut, you're going to be able to find anything you want, and you're going to be able to race it. It's just perfect.
With over 150 cars to choose from, the ability to upgrade with manufacturer-specific parts, and authentically recreated experiences like power steering and brake locking, if that game was any more realistic, it would come with a cup holder and proof of insurance, and in my case, tickets. But while a game like that is praised for its realism, the series at spot number 12 is equally touted for its total lack thereof. With ultra-engaging storylines, landmark characters, and landscapes that feature an orgy of colors, the Final Fantasy series is well known for pushing the limits of imagination to the extremes. In the eyes of most, I think, Final Fantasy VII shined the brightest with one of the greatest moments in video game history, the surprise death of beloved Eris. A moment of silence. Oh, never mind, they're already quiet. How do you top a game like Final Fantasy VII? Why don't you ask 007? See how I did that? The tuxedoed stud may have started in his fair share of video games, but none of them nailed the bullseye as well as GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64. Hardcore gamers may have discounted the game because it was a license, but after they got a taste of the multiplayer split-screen deathmatch mode, they were quick to put a sock in it. And in our eyes, GoldenEye isn't just the best game ever based on a movie, it's the 11th best game ever. Now, we look away from the GoldenEye and into the crystal ball, or crystal trackball. We asked our friendly guests what the future holds for the world.
You know, be virtually in the world rather than staring at your computer screen.
I believe they'll have more tactile feedback. You'll maybe wear some kind of jacket or glove, and you'll be able to feel the punches and feel the shots being hit.
I don't know if somebody's gonna jump out the screen and you're fighting with them. You know, I don't. That's probably the next thing. I don't know, but I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
You know what my prediction for the future is? Power Glove's coming back. That's right, you heard it from me. Power Glove 2. Use it with Dig Dug. It'll work really well. Sorry. But now it's time to get back to yesterday's hits with a hard-hitting arcade favorite. I can't resist. Street Fighter 2 was one of the last lines of defense for the dying arcade business. Making its debut in 1991, the game almost single-handedly drove fans back to the arcades. People would spend hours trying to master the moves such as hurtling fireballs and throwing dragon punches, moves which would set the standard for countless fighting games to come. It finishes the countdown at number 10. Wow, we're inside the 10 mark. Woo. When it comes to games which set standards, though, you'd be hard-pressed to find weightier real-time strategy titles than the ones made by Blizzard, let's say. But where games like Diablo and Diablo 2 may have been home runs, StarCraft and Warcraft were blasted out of the park. They're the kinds of games that have developed a huge fan base and a loyal following. Color us impressed, okay? Over here, I think I speak for everyone. StarCraft and Warcraft capture the 9 spot. Now, here's 2 more colors for you. Red and blue. You've all been waiting patiently for this one, so here it is. The man, the myth, the little plumber who could star front and center in Super Mario 64.
Super Mario 64 is probably the most important 3D game ever because it kind of showed to gamers and developers what was possible.
Mario 64 is different from all the Marios before because you can, fly through air and do, more of the secret levels.
Super Mario 64 is one of the top games of all time, and I think even if you wait another 10 years, you're not going to get that same impact again, because it was the first time that you played a 3D platformer like that, with a great camera, with great environment. And you can never recreate that feeling of stepping into this third dimension for the first time with Mario.